The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and or interviews in the following program are solely of the individuals and are not the views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid COVEN, the unofficial American Horror Story COVEN internet radio show exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Wednesday, November 13th, 2013, and I'm your host, Papi Chulo. Here on Are You Afraid COVEN, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of the hit FX series. You're going to get all of the biggest news regarding American Horror Story COVEN, much like the casting scoops, the episode titles, ratings reports, and spoilers. You're going to get that during the latter half of the show, but don't worry, we're going to warn you with a spoiler alert. So please welcome my co-hosts, my fellow Covenites. We'll start off with the one that wasn't here last week, Darielle. She was out tricking and treating.
Hey, y'all. I'm back.
From outer space. Next up, we have Miss Kitty. Cat's meow.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We need to find Misty Day to revive her.
So happy to be here.
No, because I'm trying to smash on these chips, like on the
She's
DL.
tired because today she was twirling with Misty Day.
Oh, I don't have time for that. Fuck you guys.
And last but not least, we have Mr. Superstar himself, who last week was fond of a good tea party. Deadly.
Hey.
Did you have your tea party?
With lemon cookies, yes, I did.
Yeah, the biscotti. Biscotti.
Biscotti is good.
I saw some tea and I totally thought about you, Deadly.
Now, when you sip the tea, pinkies up or pinkies down?
Pinky's always up. That's the proper way to do it.
When in doubt, pinkies out.
Yes.
SpongeBob taught me the best.
Who drinks tea with their pinky turned down?
Savages.
Like think about it. Like who's whatever.
Barbarians do it.
Myrtle
Exactly.
Snow. Myrtle Snow does.
She looked like she got her shit turned all the way the fuck down.
I love a
does.
good crumpet.
It's
I love a
inverse.
good crumpet too, though. Tea and crumpets.
I don't even know what a crumpet is.
Google,
I know
baby.
a girl named Crumpet.
Moving right along, tonight we're going to get into episode 305, which was titled Burn, Witch, Burn. And it aired on November 6th, 2013. And we're going to start off, as we usually do, by reading the press release. These press releases are very short, so here you go. Besieged by Marie Laveau's army, Zoe unleashes a new power. Fiona and Myrtle clash over control of the coven. Madame Lalaurie is confronted by old ghosts. So I want to get everyone's initial reaction to the episode. Once the credits rolled, what'd you think? Without getting too spoilery, because we're going to delve deeper into the episode in a couple of minutes. So Darielle, since you weren't here last week, we'll start off with you.
Within watching the first 10 minutes of the episode, I couldn't do it. I will.
You would
admit-
not be able to marry one of Madame Lallaurie's girls.
Exactly. Like I was there. I watched it. I saw the first scene. I didn't watch the rest of that scene. I had to go find something productive to do because it was just very cringe-worthy and I hated it. It made me uncomfortable. I know we always say that, but this was beyond uncomfortable. This was just gross. I couldn't do it. It was bad. It was all bad.
Miss Kitty?
Well, the beginning scene, like, I liked it. I saw my friend without the face make a comeback, and that was interesting. I I don't know. Anytime it just comes to her story, I'm gonna have to agree with Darielle that it's just it makes me very uncomfortable, and it makes me feel funny, and it makes me very angry. So I like the scene, but I just thought it was really fucked up on the way like she treated her daughters and told that slave to break her leg if she has to. That was really fucked up. I'm gonna get her.
And a little dog too. What'd you think, Deadly?
Well, best episode this season. I just really loved it. Especially, I loved the way it was filmed. It was like a kind of like a cloudy lens they used like through the first half of the show, and just real eerie, especially in the hospital scenes.
Yeah, it was almost like a Hype Williams music video with all the fisheye lens.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm done with
You
it.
guys are fucked up. Busta Rhymes should be getting
Exactly.
credited right
You
now.
expected
Yeah,
like
let's give me some more.
you
Like,
expected
flip
like
mode
Missy
squad.
Elliott to come through the hospital. Get your freak on. Go get your freak on.
And
I'm
not
tired
to
of fucking
mention,
with y'all. I'm going
P.
home.
Diddy and Mace.
not to mention better zombie kills than The Walking Dead this season. Okay.
Oh, it was. I didn't know how to feel about that. Are we gonna talk about that? Because I got some stuff.
We will in a couple minutes.
Okay.
I thought it was a pretty good episode. It was a very strong episode. Like I said last week, I love whenever American Horror Story does a Halloween-centric episode, and sometimes they do a two-parter, and I definitely think this one lived up to all of the Halloween episodes that we've seen in the past. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened, and we're going to be talking about it right now, so I'm not going to get into it. So let's start off with our dissection of the episode, and I think I'm just going to split the episode in half, much like Zoe did to one of the zombies. And we'll first start off by talking about what happened at the actual Miss Robichaud's academy. But before we get into that, we'll start off with the little flashback that they had at the beginning of the episodes. It's All Hallows Eve in New Orleans in 1833. Madame Lalaurie is throwing one of her fabulous parties, and there's this gentleman that arrives with his son, and the son is there to meet Madame's daughters, because the Madame is trying to find a potential husband for one of her daughters, whose name is Birgitta. We'll talk about that in a second.
So ratchet.
But yeah, Birgitta is.
I think it was Boquito. That's what I kept hearing.
Boquito.
I heard
I swear to
Pupita.
God. Yeah, I
swear I
heard
heard
something ratchet as fuck. I thought
it was
she was calling her
Borquita.
Taquito.
I thought it was Marquita. I don't know.
I thought it's either B or P because she was like, my Poquita. And I was like, damn. I was like, that is by far the most ghetto name I've ever heard in my life. And I got a sister who has a capital
goodness.
Z in her name.
Oh.
And I was
Yes.
like, damn, that takes the cake.
I think it's Borgita. I don't know.
It was something fucked up.
Yes. So the Madame brings, so she introduces the gentleman to Borgita, and the Madame is like, to be my son-in-law, you have to walk through my chamber of horrors. And so they walk through the chamber, and she's putting his hands into bowls. She's like, guess what's in the bowl? And he's laughing. He's like, oh, how long did it take you to peel all these grapes? And no, it's not grapes. It's a bunch of eyeballs that she removed from her imprisoned slaves. And then she goes to another bowl, and she's like, guess what's in this bowl? Hint, it's long, wet, and slippery. And the guy is sort of like, I don't know, he can't really figure it out. He's trying to compose himself after seeing all the eyeballs, and then she lifts off the sheet, and it's intestine-like stuff, and we see how she got the intestines from some of the imprisoned slaves that she has. And so he sort of freaks out, and he leaves, and she's like, well, I guess you're not supposed to be in this family, and starts cackling. So the daughters sort of step away from the party, and they are like, we have to do something with mother, we can't have her doing this. She's a monster. And so they sort of devise a murder plot, basically. They're like, who would think that the grieving daughters would be responsible for their mother's death? And so the Madame interrupts them. She's like, get back to the party. And then she tells her husband to tell Bastien, the man that ends up becoming the Minotaur, to get some of the other slaves for something important. And later on that night, the Madame has Bastien bring down all of the daughters, and Porquita Chimichanga, whatever her name is, she gets placed into... They're all placed basically in these cages like the other slaves are, much like we've seen in a lot of the flashbacks to Madame Lalaurie. And Birgitta, she gets her leg broken as she's tossed into her cage, and she's telling all of her daughters that they're going to be imprisoned for a year to see if in a year they can behave or something like that, because she knows about their plot to do away with the Madame. And then she goes to Chimichanga and she tells her, on Christmas morning, I'll stuff your conniving mouth full of shit.
Ew.
And that was the introduction to the episode. So let's talk about this first, because we have so much other stuff to talk about. So what did everyone think of this opening scene? And we already know what Dariel thought. So we'll start off with Cat's Meow.
Oh, I was just like I said, I agree with Dariel. It was just really, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't really, I like her scenes because Kathy Bates is a really great actor, but I hate her scenes because it makes me uncomfortable as a black person to see this. And then the level of her being, the way she treats her daughters and her infatuation with stuffing someone's mouth with poo just really throws me the fuck off. And that's not right. Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't, nope.
Cat fetish.
Like, what the hell? Why? Like, of all things, like, why can't you just stuff her mouth full of cotton balls or something? Like, you gotta stuff it with poop? Like, bye. I'm done.
Poor Kita. And Deadly has been shocked into silence.
Oh, yeah, it was. You know what? She's just pure evil. I mean, I can't, just like one else said, it's just hard to watch. And you know what's strange is, later on, and when you see the scenes of her in modern times, and like you're trying to feel some compassion for her because she's showing some compassion.
Don't feel bad for the bitch.
Well, that's what it is. It's kind of hard for me to even like feel bad for her, because then I just think about that opening scene. I'm like, oh no, girl. Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I could say Kathy Bates is acting the hell out of the role, but some of these early scenes, especially all in the 1800s, are very difficult to watch. And I'm so torn, much like Deadly. It's like, you can feel, because Kathy Bates is such a great actress, like that you almost want to feel compassion for the woman, because she's like acting her heart out. But it's like, no, I can't feel compassion for this monster. She's one of the most vile women to ever exist. Like, I can't feel compassion for her. She's just disgusting. To think, I mean, not that... how can I say this? She's so disgusting that she treats anybody with the same, hideous treatment. I mean, you would think that maybe she would have some sort of compassion for her own flesh and blood, but it's like, no matter who you are, you're gonna get it if she feels that you deserve it. So, what a woman. So let's move into the present day. We have Lalaurie ready to give trick-or-treaters some candy, and she notices her 3 daughters, Porquita included, and she drops the candy bowl, she shuts the door, and she's freaking out. So everyone decides to close all the windows because I guess they must think that it's trick-or-treaters or something, because I don't know how putting the shades up is going to stop zombies. But they decide to do that. They call down Spaulding and interrupt his tea party. And when they're all like, let's hide in Spaulding's room, Spaulding is like, and so they take Queenie up to her room because she should be laying down anyway because she was just attacked by a Minotaur earlier in the day. And then everyone's sort of hiding. Madame Lalaurie goes downstairs to get some ice. We have the neighbor, Luke. He's like, oh, it's just a bunch of, kids acting up. Let me go set them straight. So he goes outside and he's trying to talk to these zombies, and they're all frozen and not moving, and he's like pushing them and putting his hand over their faces, and nothing's working. There's a trick-or-treater that somehow randomly walks into the yard, and he's all shocked and stoked and excited because he's like, whoa, these are awesome costumes and makeup. And then we flash to Marie Laveau. She's all levitating in the air as she's doing the spell to bring the dead back to attack the school, and her eyes open and they're all white, and she basically tells the zombies to commence their attack, and they basically rip that poor trick-or-treater to shreds. And Luke notices what's going on. He's like, oh shit, these aren't children, playing a prank. This is some real deal right here. And so he starts to run away, but then he gets an axe to the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was an axe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think it was like a rake or something, or a hoe. It was a hoe.
Oh, good.
I'm pretty sure it was a
dirty
garden
hoe.
tool. It was a rusty hoe.
Yes. Okay, so he gets something to the back, which knocks him down, and then Nan gets all crazy, and so she tries to help him. She rushes outside, and she sort of drags him to the car, and they get into the car. I don't know what they think they're going to do because none of them have the key, and the zombies sort of are attacking the car, busting the windows, and then Zoe comes out with pots and pans. I don't know what she was trying to do. She was trying to fricassee him or something, and she causes enough of a distraction, but too good of a distraction because they now start chasing her. And so she rushes into what I believe was Cordelia's greenhouse. And now, they're banging on the door trying to get in. Meanwhile, inside the house, Madame Lalaurie has gone into the kitchen to grab some ice for Queenie, and she sees Porquita Chimichanga out the window. She decides to open the door, and she starts to basically ask for forgiveness. It's her penance, and, please forgive me. I know I did all these horrible things to you, but I didn't know any better. And then it looked like for maybe half a second that she was getting through to Mexican taco, or whatever we want to call her, Porquita, Chimichanga, Chalupa. And that half a second disappeared instantly once Porquita grabbed her by the neck and lifted her up into the air, because that's a whole lot of woman. And we are flashed upstairs to Queenie. She tells Spaulding, she's taking too long, go check on her. So he goes down. We hear sort of a bit of a struggle. Queenie jumps up like a Pop-Tart and heads to the door, and she sees what's going on. There's a zombie. There's Spaulding with it's funny how Porquita also picked up the candlestick. like mother, like daughter. And then the zombie starts rushing to Queenie. Queenie shuts the door. The zombie busts through. Queenie's trying to use her voodoo doll powers to kill the zombie, but it's not working. And then bam, we see Madame Lalaurie come and use a fire poker and pokes her daughter in the middle of her, into her chest, and it finally subdues the savage beast. And Queenie and Madame Laurie embrace and then make love. No, they don't make love, but they do embrace.
That's what you call it.
Y'all ridiculous.
And so back outside, we see that the twosome, Nan and Luke, have left the car because Luke is like, I'm going to bleed out. I'm going to die right here. And Nan's like, no, you're not. And so she grabs him and they start running back into the house. But then he falls and she's trying to pull him. And, it's this whole thing with like the zombies are like right behind him. And then all of a sudden there's a chainsaw. There's Zoe. And she starts going all Army of Darkness on their ass, slicing them in half, chopping their heads off, cutting their limbs off and all that stuff. And it seems that she's gotten everyone, and Nan and Luke have gone inside the house. But then one of the zombies sort of startles her, and she's trying to turn the chainsaw back on, but it's not coming on, and so she trips and falls, and the zombie's about to get her. But then she lifts up her hand, and she says... Wait, what did she say again?
She was speaking in tongues.
No, it was not. That was
something.
English because I subtitled it. What is it that she said? She said, like,
She
all
was
this
like,
back, go back to nature.
Mafusa.
No, she,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like me.
That's what she did.
No.
Mm-mm.
she said,
Taco Bell.
she didn't say Taco Bell.
Well, she should have because it was Paquito.
Borgita.
Whatever. She got a fucked up name.
Quesadilla.
Exactly. Her name is Gordita. That's what her name is. Period. And then Zoe said Taco Bell because she saw.
No.
That's what she said. I saw.
Okay. She says something like, go back to nature. I don't have the exact quote, but she says something like that, and then it turns the Walking Dead into a motionless dead guy, and it knocks Marie off of her levitation, and she told her lieutenant, or whatever you want to call her, I don't know what that was, but they got some real power in that witch house now. And so the next morning, we see that they're cleaning up the mess from outside. They made a bonfire and burnt up the dead bodies. The boy, Luke, is resting in the house, and Nan asks Fiona what they're going to do with him, and she basically tells her that he can stay until he fully recovers from his injuries so that his mother won't freak out. So I'll leave this be at this moment because now things are going to converge with the other storyline and combine into the finale of the episode. So, just talking about what happened at Miss Robichaux's during Halloween night with the zombies, what did everyone think of this storyline? And since we're talking about the dead, might as well start off with Dead Lee.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was telling you earlier. I mean, I love the zombie kills. Just a quick little shout out to the Rambling Dead, which I co-host, and so I'm a big Walking Dead fan. But I gotta say, those zombie kills were better than anything I've seen on The Walking Dead this year. I mean, I just love that whole chainsaw, the 1.5 through the gut. I mean, that was proper. I love that. You know who's getting on my nerves though is Nan. I don't know what she thought she was gonna do. I know she wasn't gonna drive that car.
All Nan could think is, I'm gonna get hella laid. That's all
Nan
she was
is
thinking about. I
whipped
get
by
hella
the
laid.
dick.
Yeah, she getting on my nerves. It's really weird because the ones that I didn't like, I wasn't feeling Zoe and Cordelia before, but I'm digging them now. And then the ones that I liked before, Queenie and Nan, I can't stand now because Queenie needs to she's losing it. Her powers aren't even doing anything. Don't even work against zombies. And she's getting soft.
When she cut her neck open and all the dust started falling out in the
And then
zombie.
she's all cuddling.
Shit made me laugh so hard.
Evil Madame Lalaurie. I mean, what you doing over there cuddling with her? I mean, if only she knew that she was taking intestines and eyeballs out. I don't think you'd be cuddling up next to that thing. So, yeah.
You don't want to caress her waddle.
I'm going to bed. I'm done. No, I'm gonna have to agree with Deadly. A lot of the characters that I didn't really care for, in the beginning of the episode, I'm really starting to like them now. Queenie just maybe her stuff don't work against the undead, so I let her pass on that one. But the fact that she was pretty much, I'm just saying you got Minotaur wounds, but bitch, like you gotta do something besides lay in the bed. Like you gotta do something besides ask for cokes. Like I'm done. Next.
Hey, really, what's the thing with the cokes on this show? What is it with the
Queenie
cokes?
Precious. Queenie Precious was doing what her, doing what she does, laying in bed and shit with some damn.
She tried to be involved in stuff before, and Nan made her go lay down. They're like, "You shouldn't stand up. You shouldn't be standing."
Please, whatever. And then Nan pulled the bitch. You clairvoyant. You clairvoyant. You should know what's going. Why the fuck? Just let girl. You already know he probably gonna live. And the fact that he brought you something to eat, he hooked it up.
What he bring her?
And you saved him, and then the bitch
he brought her cookies. He didn't bring her a meal.
I'm just saying though, like cookies is a meal for some people, but the fact that
Santa Claus,
bitch, like wait, the fact this bitch, when Fiona said it was okay for him to stay, she almost like fell on her goddamn face trying to hurry get to her room. She get hella laid. She knew what the fuck was going on. She didn't have to be Raven to see the future that she was gonna get some dick, regardless. So. I'm gonna have to say Nan was definitely irritating me. Bitch, you're supposed to know all your ass in that house, and forget about that nigga. There.
Yeah, she sprung on Luke.
She didn't even got no dick yet. I'm confused. Has anyone ever been sprung without getting no dick?
Yes.
And she speaks from experience.
Dick is key.
But
I'm gonna let it play.
Nan's not used to guys liking her.
She said she get hella laid. Period. I believe her. She said I get hella laid. So she already knows. She clairvoyant. She did her little raven motion. It was like, if I save this dude, I'm gonna get some dick. So that's what she doing. I'm going to get some dick. So that's. I like it.
Bye, guys.
Zariel, what did you think of the commotion at the school?
It was just too much. Like, the zombies, I was just scared somebody was gonna die. It was so many suspenseful parts. I agree, Nan is kind of irritating me just a little bit, because she seems like she's being a bit selfish, trying to get that D, and they're about to die. I pretty much agree with everything you guys have been saying, because it was a lot. Like, this scene was definitely a lot to take in. So after I calmed down, I was like, okay, it's good. Nobody good is dying. Because I'm always nervous of a twist, since American Horror Story likes to twist shit on you. So I'm glad no one died in this scene.
Okay, so just yes or no for your answer. Did you think Zoe would be the one to save the school? Dariel?
No.
Cat's meow?
Yeah, I mean, you had no choice but to see it that way, because she was weak in the beginning. But I'm just saying, I still hate that bitch. And if she would have bossed me the way around that she bossing other people around, she wouldn't be able to say good with nature, because I would have fucked that bitch up, and then I would have saved the day.
That was a long yes. Deadly, yes or no?
And no, surprised me.
Okay, good answer. Yeah, I would say that I did not expect her to save the Coven. So that was an interesting new power to develop at the right time.
So
Speaking
what
of
exactly
powers,
does the power entail? Like, I don't get it.
I would guess it would, instead of reanimating the dead, unanimating the reanimated dead.
That's still stupid. She got the dumbest powers. I get it.
You know what I was thinking about when she got kind of closed in that room or whatever before she went to find the chainsaw? All I could think about, I'm like, well, try to fuck your way out of this one, you stupid bitch. Like, that's all I could think about. I'm like, good luck trying to sit on some zombies' dick and killing them, because it looks like you're fucked. No pun intended.
I'm getting so tired.
Who's yawning? Who's yawning?
Shut up, Terry.
That creeps me out. That music.
I love it.
I did too. Okay, so let's move into another storyline that deals with a whole lot of powers. And so we pick up at the bar. Cordelia had just received a whole bunch of acid to the face. And Fiona tells someone to call the police. She sees a shadowy figure in a cloak leave the bar. So they're at the hospital. She's waiting for the results from the doctor in the emergency room. The doctor tells her that it was sulfuric acid and that the acid burned through Cordelia's optic nerves and that they could not save her eyesight. Fiona obviously did not take the news well. She raged against the doctor. The lights of the hospital sort of flickered on and off. And Fiona sort of walked away with a bit of, I don't know, just in a, just a sad and depressed state. This is where Dudley was saying it was kind of, the camera was foggy, there's a lot of fisheye lenses. Missy Elliott was in the background. She's like, I got what you want. And so, yes.
Nicole.
I'm going to bed. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Just the
thing
biggie
ever.
recorded in the background.
Exactly. And so she's sort of walking her way through the hospital and she finds the drug supplies. She breaks in and she takes all of the drugs and a whole lot more. And then she sees the same robed figure from the bar, and all clad in black. And then this man in a diaper grabs her and is like, you didn't throw that acid, but you might as well have. It was very weird. That was very weird. And so Fiona
Was this
finds...
before or after she raided the closet for the...
That was after she read the closet, so maybe it was in her mind.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because Diaper Man was weird. And so Fiona...
You guys are ridiculous.
Diaper Man.
Fiona finds a woman crying, and it's a new mother. Her baby was stillborn, and the doctors haven't even told her if it was a boy or a girl. She asks Fiona what her child is, or what her child was, and Fiona goes, she's a girl. She grabs the stillborn baby, and she forces the mother to cradle it. She's like, hold her, tell her she's your daughter, tell her you love her more than the whole world. And the mother, she hesitates, but she does as what Fiona is telling her to say. And she tells her to tell her daughter that she'll always be her mother until the day she dies. And just as that, Fiona walks away, and color appears on the baby's face, and it starts moving, making sounds, and Fiona has brought the baby back to life. And so that was an interesting scene, because we've seen Fiona be very cruel a lot, very protective of the coven, very mean in her actions towards anyone that's not a witch, and especially to those that are trying to take away her supremehood. But much like her reviving Queenie and now her reviving this stillborn child, we sort of see these pockets of kindness and warmth in her. So Fiona then heads back to Cordelia, and in comes Cordelia's husband, Hank. And they get into a bit of words, basically, Fiona's like, I know the truth about you. You shouldn't have been with my daughter in the first place. Thank you that you couldn't knock her up so she isn't tied to you. And he's basically like, she's always hated you and all this stuff. And so Fiona tells him that he has 15 minutes with Cordelia, and then he can be gone. And so he grabs her hand, and he apologizes and says that he loves her. And Cordelia, her eyes she may not be able to see, but for some reason she's now developed this second sight, almost this sixth sense, where I don't know how it works, but it was as soon as he touched her, so I guess maybe she has to be touched by a person, but she can sort of see the experiences of the person that maybe touches her, or that she touches, and he sees visions of her husband hunching with the extra hunching with some extra hunch. The Kaylee, I believe her name was, in the hotel room. She was like, "That's not the kind of sex I'm getting."
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm mad that they had to show that weird ass sex scene again. Like that was another one of my horror
and American
stories.
Horror Story does not go together.
Did
like,
you see the way
every
he was
sex
looking
scene
at
that's
her?
ever been in American Horror Story is just gross. Like in first season,
Is that how white people have sex? They just always have like a weird, like
they
I'm
hunch
just
with
saying, though, like.
oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like the way that these people have sex, like they have sex like their ass is wet or something, like somebody stinks.
I don't even know what that means.
Like I don't know how to say it. Like they act like something smells around them, and like they're just like, let's just hurt. I'm gonna hurt you. This
Deadly's gonna die. You're killing Deadly.
I'm leaving this time, Kay. I'm taking your words. I'm leaving.
I'm just saying, but
Go down to the bar and tell Huck we said hello.
Yeah.
They're just like, let me hurry up and let me dive and get in here really quick. Let me hurry up and get out and have all this weird ass tantric fucking red string around my waist sex. Like it's so fucking weird. It's just they look like.
So I mean, you try to put it off on white people. Aren't you get married to a white dude? Is that how you have sex?
I guess. Well, sometimes he does have a very strange look on his face, but I'm not white. It's when two white people get together and they have extra hunch. Like when him and I do it, like it's different because you got my blackness up in that piece. But
please explain to us exactly how you have sex.
You got two Anglo-Saxon people having fucking sex, and it's weird. It's weird, but then again, like I came from an age where when you watched a black comedy, like the sex was like there was some type of song going on in the background. It was fucking rhythmic, and it was just like you thought you was in a fucking music video. Like you thought there was a music video break. When the people on American Horror Story have sex, they look like they're uncomfortable. Like it looks like either their ass cheeks, like in between the cheeks, is wet, and they're trying to hurry up and get done so they can wipe that shit up. It's something not right. And when me and my fiance have sex, it's good. It's not looking like
so
the way
ass cheeks are dry. Basically,
the ass cheeks are dry. The rhythm is there, and he's not looking like he's about to choke me the fuck out. That's what that dude looked like. He looked like he was about to choke her the fuck out during sex, and it looked like she needed a wrap it up box.
And on that note, it's the next morning, and they've just done the bonfire that we talked about previously, and Fiona and Madame Lalaurie have this sort of bonding moment where they basically talk about their daughters and how they both were horrible mothers and they abandoned their daughters and all of that kind of stuff. And so Lalaurie says to Fiona, perhaps our shared tragedy will bring us closer together. And Fiona goes, I doubt it. You are, after all, the maid. So the council shows up, happy bunch that they are, for their second trial in just a few days. And they list off everything that's gone wrong at Miss Robichaux's during Fiona's tenure. So they basically sort of summarized the first 4.5 episodes of the series. And, zombies, minotaurs, student missing, presumed dead.
Oh my.
Tea parties upstairs, all that stuff. And so they demand her to withdraw from her supremehood and to give the council the powers of the Supreme, and they'll sort of be ruling over the Coven until the next Supreme rises. But Fiona sort of does a counter argument, and she claims that the Coven wasn't under attack from the outside, it's under attack from the inside, and that she knows who her true enemy is, and it's Myrtle Snow. So in a flashback to her fisheye lens, smoky camera, Missy Elliott adventures in the hospital, we see that she saw the face of the person in the hood. And it wasn't the Green Arrow, it was Myrtle. And Myrtle's like, that's ridiculous. She would never hurt Cordelia, that she was more of a mother to her than Fiona ever was. And Fiona sort of throws it back in her face, saying that Myrtle latched onto Cordelia because Myrtle could never have a child. And then, Myrtle's like, I never had a child because I dedicated my life to the Coven. And
yeah, that's why.
Yeah. And then Fiona sort of takes it another step, and she accuses Myrtle of killing, not only splashing the acid in Cordelia's face, but of killing Madison. And so she goes, "Who's Jennifer Woolley?" And whatever Beverly Leslie's like, it's the Veronica Lake character in the movie I Married a Witch. And so apparently Jennifer Woolley is the pseudonym Myrtle used when she checked into a hotel in New Orleans. Spaulding found the room, and inside found that Myrtle had set up this weird crime scene investigation of Fiona's activities with all these pentagrams on Fiona, and it was very serial killer of her to do. And the council's sort of shocked, and they're like, well, why hasn't Myrtle mentioned to us that she was in New Orleans this whole time? And so then came the final piece of evidence. Fiona pulled at Myrtle's hand and takes off her glove, revealing that the hand was burnt by the same acid that robbed Cordelia's eyesight. And so Pembroke, the quiet one of the council, was like, you give us no choice, burn the witch. So the decision was made. Myrtle stood up, and not for to deliver a final argument or anything, but for a speech where she's she spent her life swimming against the tide, and she finally had found her place in the Coven, but she was wrong. She wanted it to be over, and she said that she would proudly go into the flames. Go ahead, burn me. And so then we see everyone head to this isolated place. There's
the best scene ever. I'm sorry.
Yes. And they tie her up. The albino men in black poured gasoline on her. And then Fiona was like, do you have any final words? And Myrtle goes, you're all a bunch of toads in a pot, Fiona, slowly bringing to boil. You won't even feel it until it's too late. I'd rather burn than boil. And so Fiona throws her cigarette into basically the direction of Myrtle, and Myrtle burns up in just a couple seconds. So back at the academy, Queenie meets with Fiona in her bedroom, and Queenie has a question. She's like, did I frame a guilty woman or an innocent one? And so then we flash back to when Fiona's giving her closing arguments, and around the corner, Queenie thrusts her hand into a cup of sulfuric acid right when Fiona grabs Myrtle's hand, and she reveals it. And Queenie's like, I thought we were going to oust her and not roast her. And so Fiona gives Queenie a speech, basically sort of like a similar speech that she gave Madison when she decided to take her under her wing. And she's like, she can feel that Queenie's getting stronger, and that possibly she could be the next Supreme.
Color Supreme.
Exactly, that it would be a great thing because it would be the first Supreme of color. And it was interesting how she was rubbing Queenie's face, but then all of a sudden when she took her hands off of Queenie's face, she was rubbing her hands.
I didn't even notice that.
I noticed that too, but I don't think it's because she rubbed her hands on Queenie's face. If you pay attention to her body language, she does that all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know, because that was.
But it was fucking funny though. I did roll off.
She is greasy looking. I would wipe my hands off.
She's let me get this.
Shut up. Queenie Precious can afford rice paper blotters, okay?
Greasy, bro.
That's true. And so then Queenie leaves, sort of feeling all strong and powerful, and
you're getting stronger. You're right.
I know. And so
That
then
right there, that shit was fucking funny.
So
the way
then
they squeezed her hands, her little fat hands together.
Yes. And so then we flash over to the attic, and we have Spaulding. He's preparing for a tea party, and he's dancing around. He's got his boots on. He's got all his stuffed animals and all these dolls. He's got his little negligee, nightgown, moo-moo, whatever you want to call it. And then he's spraying air freshener because his new plaything is rotting. And so he tries to pull her out of this chest he has her in, her being Madison's body. And he tries to pull her out, and pop, her left arm pops right out of a socket, and he gets frightened, which was hilarious. Then we cut to the area where the witch was burned, where Myrtle was burned at the stake, and in comes Misty Day. She shoos away some coyotes that are wolves. I don't know what they are in New Orleans, but she shoos them away, and she cradles Myrtle's head in her hands, and she does her little thing, and pop, Myrtle's eyes shoot wide open, and end scene. So what did everyone think of this storyline and the episode as a whole? We'll start off with Darielle.
I loved it. I thought the witch burning scene was the greatest scene I've ever seen on television. The music was amazing. The scene was amazing.
What was that song? Anyone get that real quick?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Me
know.
either. What was it?
It's by Dr. John, and it's called Right Place, Wrong Time. How appropriate.
Yes. I thought it was just all so random, but at the same time, it just all flowed together perfectly. I really don't like Spaulding's storyline with rotting Madison. It's grossing me out, but I feel like it has its place. I just don't know what it's for. Fiona was really wrong for lying to Queenie Precious, because I would be damned if she became Supreme. I would have killed her first if I thought she was really that.
You make a whole lot of sloppy joes with her.
Oh, why? Would you say something like I feel like if you stab her, oil just comes up.
I'm done. I'm going to bed.
It's called
Fuck you, Dario.
Olestra. It's called Olestra.
No, that shit is called canola oil. That's what that shit is called. We're done.
It's called bacon grease.
That's fucked up.
She's like, yeah, I am stronger. Girl, no. Like, you have a cool power, but everybody else seems like they're coming into their own and having all these new powers, and she's just cutting her neck open. Like, I don't know. Let me see. It's very, very entertaining last half of the show. I'm kind of glad it went the way it did. I'm just excited to see what else is to come to kind of tie everything all together.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. This was the first episode, besides the I guess the beginning, that I actually liked. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely liked everywhere that it went. I'm glad that we didn't come back to the Frank and Kyle, because
that's what I am kind of like. Where is
I don't have time. I don't give a fuck with her, because Zoe and his storyline, it bores me. And I like the fact that my homie, Ronald McDonald cousin, is coming back. I really appreciate that, because that's pretty cool. But I liked the episode. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was awesome. I liked the way that they went with it, and it definitely left me on a point. I can't wait to see what Cordelia's gonna do, because, child, my damn heart almost popped out of my chest when I saw what she saw about the nasty ass hunching. I like almost fainted and doubled over, but I can't wait to see what's going on with her, because you go, girl, you go.
Yeah, I agree with you with Cordelia. I just love this new power of hers. I mean, now I like her. I'm just like, oh yes, girl, find out some things. And,
exactly.
And I kind of wish the whole Myrtle Snow thing with the hotel, the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, we could have seen, this episode could have lasted a little bit longer, because I wanted to see all that behind the scenes stuff, that stuff she wrote on the wall and stuff. That went too quick. I wanted to see more of that. Feels kind of sorry for Queenie getting all buttered up by Fiona, and she's just taking it, and the whole Supreme of Color when we've already got Diana Ross and Mary Wilson.
Get
anyway.
Boom. Boom. Thank you, Deadly. I forgot to say anything about that, about Queenie and her. I am getting stronger, huh? A mess. I was pissed off the fact that she even manipulated her like that. I was really mad.
So I'm getting a little mad at Queenie because, I mean, come on, girl. You were like the tough one to start things off. And maybe after that thing hunched her, she's kind of losing it. But and Myrtle Snow, I don't.
He's the happy.
Hopefully, if she does come back, I hope she comes back like a crispy chicken McNugget thing or whatever, because she looks
Deadly,
creepy.
you ain't shit.
But great. Overall, just a great episode. My favorite one this season. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. It was a hella entertaining ride. I couldn't believe that. Well, I couldn't believe they killed Myrtle, but I knew that she'd be coming back because she's the type of person that had to come back. Myrtle Snow could not have been dead, and with the woman that can resurrect people, and you know, she knows when people die, so she just goes directly to them and brings them back. So I knew that she was going to come back, and it's interesting how Fiona is developing all of these enemies. She's got Marie Laveau, she's got the church lady next door. Now, you know, she's got whoever did that to Cordelia, because I don't believe it was Myrtle. And then now she has Myrtle that are trying to get her. So let me ask everyone, do you think, because I don't think it was Myrtle, do you think it was Myrtle that spilled the acid on Cordelia? Do you think it was someone else? Do you think it's someone maybe related to what her husband's doing, or
It could be someone, because it was someone
from the
smaller
voodoo
than
priest
she
or something?
was.
Who do you think
I
it
think-
is? What do you think
I
it is?
think it's that one guy. That
Beverly Leslie.
yeah,
Beverly
I think
Leslie.
Not
I
his
think
name,
it's
but-
him. But I know who you're talking about. I think it may be him because the person was a smaller person. Like, I mean,
all the funky angles that he or she were being filmed at, though. Because
you're right. You're right.
I can't really tell their
He
body.
was in a Nas video.
Oh,
I'm done. I'm done.
I
I'm
feel
done.
like it might be. I don't know. Like, I can't even think of who it could be because there's so many twists and turns. I don't know.
Yeah, it's throwing me. I couldn't tell. I mean, I really was behind Fiona's story that it was her. But then when Queenie was, came out and, was her with her hand in there, and it threw me. But, yeah, I'm anxious to see exactly who it was behind the mask. It's not the Lone Ranger. We know that.
Definitely not the Lone Ranger. It was a very good episode, though. I can't wait to see what they do next and what Cordelia is going to do with her new power. So that'll be interesting, and it'll be nice to see if she decides to instantly kick her hubby to the curb. So, yeah. So let's move into the spoiler section. So, listeners, if you don't want to know what's going to happen in upcoming episodes of American Horror Story Coven, I suggest you turn your volume down low because we're going to get spoilery. This is officially a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So the first thing I want to chat about is Connie Britton, the actress from American Horror Story Season 1. She was asked about a possible return to American Horror Story, and she goes, I hope so. She told this to Rolling Stone magazine. I've actually been talking to them this season because they're down in New Orleans and I'm in Nashville. I said, okay, let's see if we can try to figure this out. She says, I'll put that on, jump on a plane, and go to New Orleans. Yes, I would do that as long as we can figure it out with both productions I'm in. I hope it happens. She's in Nashville, Tennessee, filming the show that's actually called Nashville on ABC. So it's nice to know that she is up for another taste of American Horror Story. So we'll see if they can actually figure it out and have her on Coven.
No.
No. Oh.
You don't like her?
I think she's really pretty. I think she's an absolutely gorgeous woman. I just like to really hear her speak and just watch her lips move when she talks. I don't miss her as a character at all. It was just something about it. I don't know. I just felt like she was just so dry and just so, But I mean, then again, like, shit, I don't know. We'll see, but maybe they'll breed something different into her and not her playing the I'm fed up, but I don't know what the fuck to do anymore kind of feel. But I don't know. I'm sorry that I don't agree all the time, but I don't really miss her at all. I don't know what they're gonna do with her.
Well, her role in the first season was like that meek wife trying to repair her family. So I feel like if they put her in a stronger role, she'll shine better. Because she was kind of supposed to be weak in a way in Murder House. So now that it's a completely different story, they could use that, dry, kind of calm thing to her advantage. Like a sociopathic witch or something. I don't know.
Something. I mean, maybe she'll play really good as a witch or something, but I don't know. I just didn't really care for her, but we'll see. I'm open to possibilities.
Well, moving on to some good news that everyone should be excited about. I know this isn't probably something that we weren't thinking was going to happen, but it is actually official now from FX. American Horror Story is renewed for a season 4. So FX announced this Wednesday that American Horror Story will return for a 4th season, as we all sort of I don't know if we knew this, but it's official now that COVEN will conclude on January 29th, 2014, and the new season.
That's early. Oh my god.
No, it's actually late. It usually ends in like mid-January.
Oh, shoot.
And the new season is slated to begin in late 2014. Usually in October is when it's been debuting. And as we announced, I think a couple of episodes ago, Jessica Lange told BuzzFeed that season 4 would be her final one, so we'll see if that sticks or not. I know we all sort of had mixed reaction. A lot of us, I think, really wanted her to stay, and Cat's Meow was the contrarian and was like, she could go.
Oh, no, girl.
No, I mean, because she's blending into almost every character so far. But, I mean, like I said, I'm open. I'm open. Don't shut me out. I'm open.
I just want to know what the next season is going to be about, because this one was just so creative and well put together and well researched. I want to know what direction they're going to go with the 4th season. Like, I hope they don't do nothing stupid like vampires or something. So I'm going to be really pissed off.
No, I would love, and I've been wanting this since the end of season 1, I would love for a season to be set in the 80s in a summer camp. Run by Jessica Lange.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's funny you said. I was just thinking Friday the 13th kind of stuff.
Exactly, with a whole bunch of horny camp counselors and sort of Friday the 13th-ish. Maybe you can mix in Evil Dead or something with like some sort of book or something of spells or something with, I think it would be kind of interesting. All I know is I want to see something in the 80s with the summer camp, and Jessica Lange has to be like the camp counselor or like the owner of the summer camp.
Or even they could pay homage, because I see like they paid homage to Sam Raimi as far as Zoe coming out with the chainsaw and like fucking up a bunch of zombies and whatnot. That was pretty awesome. But they could also do a what is that, teenage sleepaway camp or something like that? Something. It's to me, I thought it was better than the Friday the 13th movies, and there's a female lead in it, and I thought it was pretty cool. So maybe they'll do something like that. Who knows? But I can't take no vampire shit. So
no, if they do anything having to do with like vampires, the zombies. I feel like
where else could they go though? Like in the 4th season, what else could you go? Like, never mind. I hope it's about a cult. Like that would be pretty badass.
Ooh,
no, we already have the following on that.
I think that would be awesome. I mean, because you've done. I think cults are a lot of people's own version of something just scary. Like the fact that someone could be in a cult, they could be being brainwashed. The fact that they don't have control of what they do, like that's scary. But I mean, I'm open. So
yeah, just as long as your booty isn't moist.
As long as your booty isn't moist. As long as your ass cheeks aren't moist. I'm telling y'all know what it feels like to have wet cheeks.
I don't think I do.
Moving right along, in other season 4 news, Kathy Bates and Angela Bassett have been approached to return for season 4. So apparently
Wow.
Ryan Murphy told Entertainment Weekly exclusively that he wants both stars to return for season 4. He goes on to say, I've approached them and they want to do it. That's very exciting when you can work with A, actresses you've always idolized, and B, those two are loving this season. They love what they get to do. Kathy Bates sent the writers a basket of plush toys, all in the shapes of disemboweled organs. It doesn't get any better than when an Oscar winner sends you a grab bag of stuffed pancreas to say thank you and job well done.
Where the hell did she buy a stuffed pancreas and stuffed?
Google it, I'm sure you can find it.
She's awesome.
She's sick in real life too, apparently.
Good grief. Leave that alone. That's Marshall Levin's teacher.
Oh, okay.
Marshall was everything.
Shout out to Marshall. That means Cat's Meow's trying to replace you, Dario.
No. I miss Darielle, but I missed having her opinions, but Marshall's was just everything.
Oh,
like
he was fighting Cat's Meow. That's
yes,
fine.
he was, and I for some reason I liked that. I liked the fact that
that was relax.
I don't know. At first I was like, he got some nerve. He got some nerve trying to call me out, and then I don't know, but I did miss you, Dario.
Mm-hmm.
Go eat
Yeah, her opinion's alright, but Marshall, let me tell you about Marshall. Girl, boo.
Choke on a pretzel.
How would you do? I hope a salt get in your throat.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna totally think about you when that salt gets all up in my throat.
Choke on it, make your mouth.
And on that note, we'll be back next week with a brand new installment of American Horror Story Coven. Well, actually, we are not called that. We're called Are You Afraid Coven? But you know what I'm saying. You can expect a brand new episode every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on PapiChuloRadio.com. You can email us with any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns by emailing contact@PapiChuloRadio.com. Please like us on Facebook. We have a like page and we have a lot of great pictures of upcoming episodes, as well as all of the spoilery goodies that we chat about during the show, as well as the stuff we don't chat about on the show because they're too spoilery. You can find it there by going to Facebook.com/the letters PCR and the words Are You Afraid? So that's Facebook.com/PCR Are You Afraid? You can also like Papi Chulo Radio on Facebook by going to Facebook.com/Papi Chulo Radio. So, co-host, can you wish the listeners a great night?
Meow.
Good night. I'm getting a taco supreme. That's where I'm going.
No, you need a portita.
Portita.
Yeah, you need a portita. With an extra side of punch.
Oh my god.
And,
And booty moisture.
with a nice cup of tea as well. Pinkies up, people.
So fancy. Pinky's turned down.
Bam. Don't forget your moo-moos. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.